Top story at 3. Fikile Mbalula says Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane got it wrong. She found that Mbalula had violated the Executive Ethics Code when Sedgars Sport funded his family's holiday to Dubai in 2016. The former sports minister says he's taken the report on review. Mkhwebane says there was a conflict of interest as Sedgars was doing business with SASCOC at the time. Our reporter Govan Whittles has been tracking that story from the newsroom and joins us now live. Govan, so Fikile Mbalula says the Public Protector got it wrong. Just where does he believe she blundered here?
First of all, Fikile Mbalula says that he doesn't consider Sedgars as having funded his family vacation to Dubai, and he thinks the fact that he asked for the money, the upwards of 300,000 rand, which came from Yusuf Dokrat, the director of Sedgars, means that Sedgars didn't in fact fund his trip. So that's one of the bones of contention at the moment that the former minister has pointed out. But he also says that he doesn't understand, or he doesn't agree that he had breached the Executive Ethics Code or that there was a conflict of interest. In a statement released by Mbalula earlier today, he says, or he points out that SASCOC's procurement processes are autonomous, and he doesn't go as far, but he stops short of saying he considers it an insult to think that he could have influenced those procurement processes. And he says that even if a conflict were to arise in the future, it wouldn't have because of this autonomous process. So Fikile Mbalula going to great lengths to explain that he had been friends with Yusuf Dokrat for 20 years when he had asked him for the money to pay for the trip for the family vacation to Dubai, but also explaining that he never intended to go on the trip and only pay when he came back to South Africa. He initially planned to pay before going and had hoped that the sale of one of his properties would have been completed and the money would have been available before he ended up leaving for Dubai in December. Also says that there's nothing wrong with making an agreement with the travel agency to pay for the trip after they had come to South Africa. So as you said, the former minister saying he's consulting his attorneys at this moment. He's considering challenging or taking the Public Protector's report on review in the courts, but as yet he hasn't made any official announcement. For now, though, he's sticking to his guns. He says that he made a short-term loan from his friend of 20 years who happened to be the director of Sedgars. That short-term loan has been repaid with interest, and as far as Fikile Mbalula is concerned, he doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
Without veering into the field of speculation too much here, Govan, if Fikile Mbalula insists there was no wrongdoing in this loan that he says he received, the Public Protector is saying the opposite, why then not just go straight to court and take the report on review? That'll be interesting to see, won't it be?
It will indeed, and at this point in time, the former minister, Fikile Mbalula, is consulting with his attorneys, and whether or not he takes this on judicial review should be clarified within the coming days. Of course, Fikile Mbalula is right now on leave, so he'll only be back in January, and I think that's probably when he's going to clarify this. But the Public Protector was very clear as to why she believed there was a conflict of interest. She doesn't buy Fikile Mbalula's story. She doesn't buy the fact that he says he knew Yusuf Dokrat for 20 years but didn't know that he was the director of Sedgars, which was a supplier to SASCOC at the time, and she also didn't buy his other explanations, which included asking for the money from Dokrat, but never actually being a customer of the travel agency which arranged the trip. So in short, the Public Protector is saying that Fikile Mbalula's stories aren't adding up, and that's why she made the finding against him and referred the case to the National Prosecuting Authority and the Financial Intelligence Center to check whether or not any of the money which came through in large cash payment weren't the proceeds of money laundering. So two very different stories from the Public Protector and Fikile Mbalula, both of them sticking to their stories for now.
And Fikile Mbalula, Govan, quite clear, I'm looking at the statement here, one of the things that he mentions at least 3 times in the statement is the fact that he has since repaid this loan.
That's right. I don't think the fact that he had repaid the loan would have had any implication on the Public Protector's finding of a conflict of interest. The basis of that finding was really the fact that Yusuf Dokrat was a director of Sedgars at the time when he approached Mr. Dokrat to bridge the gap, as Fikile Mbalula says, to pay for his holiday vacation. But he's been quite poignant on that, saying he has repaid the short-term loan, as he called it, with interest, and because of that he feels that the Public Protector got it wrong and there was no wrongdoing on his part.
All right, ENCA reporter Gervin Whittles, they're giving us the latest on a statement by the ANC's head of elections, Fikile Mbalula, who's now taken issue with the Public Protector's report into monies he received for a holiday trip with his family to Dubai. Mbalula saying it was a loan from a friend of 20 years. The Public Protector saying it isn't so. He, in fact, got money from someone who was doing business with SASCOC, a sports body, which was possibly presenting a conflict of interest, seeing that Mbalula was the sports minister at the time of that holiday. There will no doubt be much more reaction to that story in the coming days and in the coming weeks.